Welcome to the 4th episode of Tool Time Tuesdays with Carrie. I hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. This week we're going to be talking about the drill driver combo here. It's the cordless. I've got mine. This is the DeWalt. I actually have the Cobalt as well. I like both of them. This I use for almost every single project I ever do. We're going to be talking about pilot holes, when to use higher torque or when to use more or higher speed, the different settings, different bits that you can use. This is a great tool to have in your toolbox. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below, or you can follow me on my Instagram page at Carrie'd Designs, where I share most of my projects in very detail and depth and my story highlights. So let's get started. I'm gonna share some of the bits that I have. These are spade bits. Let me take this out right here so you can see a closer look. So these are spade bits. These are great for making like peg holes. So I've done a lot of projects in our house where I've done like peg rails myself. Here's some pictures of recent projects or projects I've done in the past using spade bits like this. So these are great to have if you like to do or make peg rails, which I've made a lot of them. First, let's go over the tool. This is my drill driver. It's brushless, it's cordless, comes with this 20-volt battery pack. So you just push this button down, push it in. Drill driver combos are all pretty similar, so depending on what you have, I mean, this may look a little different. Let's go over what these numbers are on the side first. This is indicating the torque. The higher number torque, the more the power. You want a higher number torque when you're trying to drill holes. That's what this is for. And then you'd want your setting on 2. This is how you would want to drill a hole in. 2 means less speed. So it's a lower speed, more power, higher torque. That's what you want to do when you're drilling holes in. When you're trying to drive a screw through, you want to have a faster speed, which would be setting 1, and a lower torque. The numbers that you see right here, like I said, the higher the number, the more the torque, which is the more the power. This piece is specifically, the technical name is the mode selection collar. So it's the mode selection collar where you're going to have to select what torque you want. One of the things that I bought separately that I do recommend is this magnetic bit drive. So it really just holds the head of the drill bit in there, and it's magnetic, so you can hear that snap. Like that. So I really like this piece. It was separate, but I think it's totally worth it. There are a lot of accessories that you can buy separately with your drill driver combo, and they are 100% worth it in my opinion from all the different projects I've done. So there's this is a right angle accessory, and what you do is you just put it in here and the drill driver, lock it in. And this is for like those hard to reach places. Like it's a right angle, so you can literally put it into a screw this way if it's hard to reach on the inside right here, and look at that. So love this thing. Accessory, I use it quite often actually. And it's magnetic as well. You can hear it sticking. And then I have this longer one. It's very similar, but it's actually flexible. Comes with that end piece already. You would just pop it in there. And like I said, if it's far away, gives you that flexibility to get into hard to reach areas. I'll be honest, I prefer the right angle one I showed you over this one. This one's just a little harder to manage just because of the length. And then there are spade bits. I have this set right here. There's various brands that make them. I just have the Irwin set right here. I have a 1/2 inch. I'm going to show you. So this is great to make holes for pegs. So I make a lot of peg rails. I have them in our little makeshift mudroom that I turned from a coat closet. I have them in Kennedy's room, the trophy shelf I just recently made. This is actually a leftover from that project. So I'm going to show you, this is 1/2 inch diameter. This is a 1/2 inch bit. I'm taking a piece of scrap wood to show you. Have the 1/2 inch on there because I'm drilling a hole. I'm going to have a lower speed setting, more torque. far down because I don't want to drill into my desk. But I made that hole. This is a peg. Look how clean it is. You would still need to sand it down a little bit to clean that up. But then this peg, with a little bit of twist in, will fit in there. Like that. So that's what spade bits are really good for. I like to use them. Again, I make a lot of peg rails. If you don't, then you may not find these to be useful. Now let's talk about pilot holes. Early on in my DIY days, I never made pilot holes, and I stripped so many wood screws and would get so frustrated because I didn't even know what a pilot hole was. So a pilot hole is just making a pre-hole before you actually screw into the wood. Otherwise, you will strip it. Chances are you will. So I'm going to show you this. You have 4 of the exact same screws. They all have good heads on them. You can see Philip's head right there. I'm going to do the first one without drilling a pilot hole. So that was a little hard to go in. It still went in. Now I'm going to create a pilot hole. I'm just using a 1/8 inch drill bit. This set came separately. Highly recommend getting a drill bit set. I'm trying really hard not to go through the desk. So pilot hole. See, there it goes. And now take that same screw and it drives right through. You can see. This one, it was a little bit harder to drive through. I didn't even drive it all the way through. You can hear it, right? And eventually you will strip the head, which I did. So look at the head. It is almost all the way stripped because I did not drill a pilot hole. Look at this head. I drilled a pilot hole, went right through. This head, it sits semi-flush. It's not all the way down, but then sometimes you do projects and you want it to be inset, right? You want it to be inside the wood so you can hide it or conceal it. So I'm using countersink bits, separate as well. Bought these well after I bought the drill driver, so don't think that you have to go buy all these at once. I'm just trying to explain to you the different ways how it makes having these accessories make things a lot easier. So you can see the top right here, there's a bigger hole, but it's a smaller hole in the bottom, which is what you want. Let me show you up close. That way the head of the screw is gonna set inside that. And that's exactly what you want if you're trying to conceal. Now that I use that countersink bit, I have that same screw. You can see the head, there. Head's good. So now, well, I drilled too big of a hole, but you can see. Now that's flush. Now let's compare the variations. I drilled a pilot hole with this screw first. Please note that I used all the exact same screws. I drilled a pilot hole first with a drill bit where it was slightly smaller than the length of the screw right here, or the width of the screw right here. You can see that it's semi-flush, like it's a little bit raised, but that is with the pilot hole. This is not with the pilot hole. You can tell that I've stripped the head and it's not even all the way through. This was made with a countersink, which the whole purpose is to conceal, for it to be inset. And I didn't have to drill because the hole was bigger. The countersink bit was bigger, but the point is that it sits flush, like smooth right over it. You can hear, cannot go smooth right over it. Smooth right over it. So that is the different variations. Using those accessories, you are gonna have a much more cleaner look when you're using a countersink bit. If you don't have countersink bits, which I don't have a ton of them, I just have a few of them. So when I don't have a countersink bit the size I need, I improvise by using 2 different drill bits, and I'll show you that. So let's first make the pilot hole. I'm using that 1/8 inch drill bit. And this is the makeshift countersink method I use. So I'll drill all the way in, all the way through. And then I'll take, using this, looking at the head, I then go through my other bits and decide what size I need so that it completely fits in. And I think this one might be too small. So I'm going to use the 3/8 inch drill bit now. And I'm gonna lightly just go to the top. I just wanna make just enough for the head to go all the way in, so then I can use wood glue to conceal it. I wanted a little bit more than I wanted to, but now, because I didn't go all the way through, I can now use that screw. Now it's concealed. I could put wood glue in here, or I could put like a little button. They make like little wood buttons that I could put just to hide that there, but then you would never know that screw's there, and it's all the way through. And I also have this screw bit set. So these are all different. You can tell, I use this a lot, as you can see. So it all is dependent on the screws that you have. I just use these regular wood screws, but if you want to use deck screws, I really like to use deck screws because they glide right in, but those require like the star tip. So that's why having like a set of different screw bits is good to have on hand, especially if you're using different screws, because you will run into that issue. Good news is, a lot of the times when you buy big boxes of screws like that, deck screws, the drill bit head comes inside the box already. So make sure that you look for that if you're buying certain screws, to see if that already comes with the drill bit. Then you don't have to buy that one separately. But if you have a set just like this, then you probably already have it. That's it for this post. I hope you found it helpful and getting you comfortable and confident to use tools such as the drill driver combo. If you have any questions, again, please feel free to comment below. You can also follow me on my Instagram page at Carrie'd Designs. Until next time.